Hello, Johnny London here once again. I've decided to do something about the difference in level between some of the roof slats. And I need to make sure that those nail heads are well out of my way. So I tap them down using another nail. Now I can really get stuck in without fear of messing up the blade on the plane. Then it's a nice coarse sand to smooth things off. It's much more even than it was, and I think that'll be good enough. Just the other side to do now. And thanks to YouTube magic, here it is, all planed up. Again, not perfect, but certainly good enough.
Well, I'd be lying if I said it was perfect. The planing got it pretty good in most of the areas I was concerned about. The sand is not really doing all that much. It's taken off a few burrs here and there and just made it look a bit nicer. But I think it'll be good enough to put the felt on. I've got quite a good quality felt, so I'm hoping that, that'll be the case. I've got the other side to do, just give it a bit of a sand up, check it over, see if I've missed any bits, and then that'll be time to actually start thinking about one more little job before the felt goes on. And that's the fact that I've got a bit of a sort of void in the ridge where the woods meet. I didn't do them like that or like that, I did them like that. The reason was because I only had just enough overhang at the edge, and I thought, well, I'll sort something else at the end. I may fill that in with some mud or something, or maybe a little strip of wood, or I might just leave it, I'm not sure yet. But anyway, as ever, I'm racing against the daylight, so I better crack on. Right, that'll do. I'll just sweep it down and then do myself. As usual, it's a race against the clock. I've just been going around with this. I'm sealing all the sort of old nail holes in the pallets, any sort of excessive gaps or dips, not really for waterproofing, although this is quite a good frame sealant, but just so that I don't have any weak spots where the sort of the roofing felt can sort of eventually sort of sag and crack and sort of give way into or anything like that. So just a quick go around with this. That'll dry off tonight, and then hopefully tomorrow I might be able to get that roofing felt on. Bit difficult because I'm holding the camera and the gun. I'm trying to get everything in the right place. Just to give you an idea, just sort of going like that, and then a bit of a crack there. Let's get that in. Well, I've been having a bit of a think about what's going to work best for the ridge of the roof. As you know, I've got that sort of gap where the woods are like that, and originally I thought perhaps a little square strip of wood would just sort of sit in there nicely, but really the gap's a little bit irregular as it goes along, and I haven't got any little bits of square wood anyway, so that's not going to work. What I have got, however, is this. I've got plenty of garden canes. Now they're not entirely straight, and they're a bit thinner at one end and a bit broader at the other end, and they've got these knobbly bits on them. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to saw them up into sections without knobbly bits, and then I can go along, drop those little different width sections in as needed in that sort of roof line ridge, and then just sort of seal them all into place, and that'll have the advantage of it'll just give a nice little rounded edge. It sounds like it's a bit jerry-rigged, but actually I think it's going to work quite well. It'll give a nice little rounded edge for the roofing felt to sit on, so it's not going to sort of sag in or have anything sort of too angular to rub against, and I think that's going to work quite well. So I'm going to just get on, chop up a couple of these, and then see if I can fit them all into place.
These are fitting like a charm. So I decide to get pedantic with the sealant.
Well, I'm just trimming all the end beams in all the corners, because I think really they need to be flush with the, if you can see them there, the wood slats, because that'll make it easier when I come to sort of putting a sort of fascia board over to hold the felt in place.
Finally, it's time to break out the felt.
Right, well, I took the precaution of buying a 10-metre roll because I knew I needed three metre lengths. By the time I've got little bits of folding, there goes that cat in the background, look, just see him. By the time I've done a little bit of folding at the end and one thing and another, I need just a little bit more than 3 metres on each bit, so it's worked out well. Going to cut them all to 3.15 or thereabouts, and then I can lay them on the roof and they'll sort of settle into shape before I fix them. I'm sure that won't do the blade any good, but you've got to cut it with something, haven't you?
A bit of wood helps keep the felt from sliding off. I just need to allow for the overhang.
The front is just going to tuck down like that, then I shall nail a slat just flat in front like that, and I can trim off the excess. What I'm not quite so sure about is how I'm going to finish the sides yet. I think I'm just going to come down to that edge there just to leave a sort of vertical one ending. I think that'll look the best.
Something like that anyway. Now for the other side. Once more I have a piece of wood handy to keep the felt from sliding down.
Of course, I'm used to working on my own, aren't I? Could do with another pair of hands, but there it is.
I'll just poke the end over like so. And now it's time for the tricky third piece.
Of course, stopping to keep filming doesn't exactly help.
And there it is, finally all laid in place.
Right, well that's it. That's all the roofing felt in place for now. I might just give it a tweak in a minute, make sure it's absolutely spot on, because of course it is sort of settling into position, finding its level and taking on the profile of the roof and one thing and another. I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to use adhesive or not. I did do last time and I don't know if it really made any difference or not. I mean, it's pretty mucky, horrible stuff. Otherwise I'll just put plenty of tacks in and obviously use some joining stuff. Well, I've got the join, but I'm going to leave it there for today and hopefully resume tomorrow. Now, the wind isn't due to pick up for a few days, which is great because I wanted to be well beyond where I was with that tarpaulin, because that'll be gone, obviously. So really, all I've got to do now is get this fixed into place, and then I'm sort of good for the season, really. Oh, and see you next time.